Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit with Ryel and with everyone about these closer events and what brought us to this place where we decided to create this kind of unique matchmaking relational experience. I've been date coaching and matchmaking for over 13 years. And I would say definitely over the last 2 to 3 years, the deeper and deeper I go with my clients and their journeys as they are, dating and going through matchmaking and online dating and screening hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of matches for my clients. The overall feedback that I've been getting is that everybody feels just very disconnected, deflated, on their dating journeys. They're going on tons and tons of dates because online dating really does give you the quantity. But their experiences just leave them feeling even more disconnected. They're feeling that the landscape is somewhat dehumanizing and that their interactions are very transactional. And so, as I'm hearing all this, I'm also training and taking courses in authentic relating. And I happened to take Ryel's authentic dating course with a couple of my clients. And, Ryel said, this is truly the antidote to dating boredom. And I just wrote it down in huge letters, and it has stuck with me since. And I just thought I need to create an experience where people can learn these relational skills, this practice, which applies to every aspect, relational aspect in life, and just bring it into the space of dating. It really feels like an antidote, like healing a dating space, which is in a landscape that feels very, very broken right now. And so we decided, Ryel and I, to create this experience for our clients and our members. And I just wanted to tell everybody a little bit more about it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been super fun offering these events already. And, the events are really premised on the idea, and I think it's a well-proven idea that humans are naturally oriented toward real life shared space connections, and that anytime humans are sharing a space together, there's the potential and opportunity for nourishment and the experience of deeper connection, of being seen, of seeing another, of sharing aspects of self that may live behind guards and walls, which themselves take effort to maintain. And so to learn the skills of being able to mindfully drop some of those walls and be vulnerable and connect with others, I think is the makings of a thriving and healthy and conscious relationship anyway. And what I love about authentic relating is just how simple and easy these skills are to learn and to apply with really immediate and impactful results. I mean, in a single conversation, you can have a totally different experience of connection and of being nourished by that connection by applying these simple skills. So the closer events really are sort of a light training, I would say, in offering these skills and providing attendees an opportunity to practice them with each other. And authentic relating lives in the body. So it really depends on people actually being in the practice and applying these skills in person with each other. And we're doing it all together. So there's a kind of sense of safety and warmth and sort of camaraderie and community at these events. We're all in this together. And I think it kind of destigmatizes what a modern date is these days, and really sort of allows us to drop away the assessing mind, the mind that's sort of holding a checklist and weighing this person against a checklist, and really bringing us back to our hearts, our bodies, our impulses towards meaningful human connection. And so those are the kinds of ingredients we get to explore and bring about at the closer events. And yeah, it's been super sweet already. to see a lot of these connections form so organically, naturally, and at a really human level.
Yeah, what I want to comment on, Ryle, is that this idea of feeling nourished from these interactions. Again, the sense I'm getting from everyone is they are feeling malnourished as they continue spending their time, their energy, their thoughts. You know, it's going on so many dates, they feel like it's work. It feels like a job and it feels like work. And Ryel, I think you've experienced these conversations with my own clients and your clients, the ones we share in the coaching setting about, oh gosh, it's just, it's arduous to
Yeah.
date these days. And so I feel like what we're doing at the closer events and just bringing this practice into the dating space is hopefully allowing people to actually approach dating as a way to nourish themselves and others emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's something I've often said during, dating courses as a dating coach, is to approach a date less about, I'm going to assess this person for being appropriate to the role of life partner. And
Yeah.
if they don't meet all of my standards, needs, and expectations in the context of seeking a life partner, then I'm just going to, sort of sign them away and move on and go on to the next one. And really, the opportunity is to just let all that fall away and just share space with another human, especially when there's a pre-existing highlight or focus on exploring intimacy together. And so I encourage people going into dates to sort of let that life partner assessment part of them to the side and relax that part and see where it is that they can have a meaningful and nourishing experience with another human being in a relatively intimate setting, such that they both leave feeling more lit up and more enlivened and almost like a faith in humanity restored. But that really takes people being willing to drop into their hearts and bodies, their vulnerability, reveal more of their authentic selves, to not follow a script or a checklist or, this is how I'm supposed to do this. These are the things I'm supposed to say or ask. But to really drop into what's available here. This moment is unformed and unscripted, and it holds so much potential for meaningful human interaction. And whether or not you actually want to see this person again or go on a second date, even then it's an opportunity to have a meaningful and enlivening experience with another human. And what makes that possible is these really simple skills and tools of authentic relating that we teach at these events. And even within 3 hours that the event is, we're able to convey and transmit a lot of these really powerful skills and tools that can completely transform people's experiences of dates and restore, as we said, restore this sense of humanity. It's sort of like a rehumanization of an experience that has become a bit dehumanized and commodified. And that's what's so exciting. And as you said also earlier, these skills ripple out and are relevant to anywhere and everywhere that humans are interacting, and especially in the context of longer relationships. So to the extent that people in the dating world actually want to find someone to create a relationship with, these skills and tools are going to have massive impact in that context as well. And really, in a sense, you could think of a date as a mini relationship.
Love that.
So what you're going to practice and the values that you hold in a long-term relationship should be absolutely online and practiced and embodied on a date. And I think that way we get to have an actual real sense of connecting with somebody in an intimate setting and get a real sense of how it might be to create, deeper relationship with someone instead of this just sort of factory treadmill of just cycling through the next one, the next one, the next one. And with every successive date, people get more disillusioned and cynical and tuned out, and they're going through the motions. And so these events, closer events, and this practice really resets all that and has us really looking forward to an opportunity to spend an evening or an afternoon with somebody in this more intimate setting, and explore what's possible in such a sweet space.
Yeah, thanks for that. I just, I think like you said, like the more and more it becomes this treadmill, people feel more and more disillusioned as they're going on these dates. I also think it's almost like more walls come up, more needs to this thought that if you present this like glossy ambassador version of yourself on the dates, something is going to change. Um, and what I like about the closer events is that in addition to learning this practice and just getting an introduction to these skills, you actually get to practice them because they're initially not that comfortable to practice. They're new, they're edgy,
Yeah.
and everybody's in that safe space. They can practice it and actually experience what it feels like to connect with another person as your whole self, not that glossy first date, happy-go-lucky version of yourself. And when you experience that connection in real life, at the closer events, it just becomes easier and easier to do it on your own. So you're going to take that out into your dating life, your everyday life. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I believe humans are already wired for intimacy and for meaningful, whole, vulnerable connection. That's actually, I think, our default nature. And then along the way, somewhere we learn to strategize, to build these sort of strategic masks and facades and outer layers to try to get our needs met, and try to have the experience of human interaction that we envision. And yet, really, what we're longing for, I think, is letting all that drop away and just being our natural, authentic selves. And that's the doorway through which lies real intimacy. And so part of the experience that people have at the closer events is, moving through that initial discomfort
yeah.
as we drop away those strategies and masks and everything and come back to our real selves. And then ultimately we get to have that effortless experience of just being who we naturally are around other people who are striving to be their natural selves. And that's where deep and real and human intimacy lives. And that's the makings of a meaningful connection that can lead to a rich and nourishing and meaningful, fulfilling relationship.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I've had people say to me, "Oh, well, I learned this practice, um, but like if I'm on a date, this other person doesn't have these skills, these tools. They don't know what authentic relating is. It's going to sound weird." And you know what? It's like just modeling it, being it, embodying it, revealing yourself on a date in this way in any interaction immediately gives permission, sets context, gives permission, and really teaches the other person that you're talking to that they too can bring their whole selves into this. It's like I feel like there's often this sense of relief on the other side, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what it does, the embodiment of these skills and tools of being in this practice of learning to unwind and relax these outer layers, the sort of journey home to oneself, all of that actually cultivates a sense of safety in this space. It's like, oh, this person is just their real natural selves. And I find myself sort of dropping away my own guards and feeling safer and more trusting of this person and of the shared space. And so just by showing up in that way, even if just one person has been exposed to these kinds of things, can cultivate this sense of relief and dropping away and relaxation in the other person in the room, even with multiple people. As I said, I think, like relating authentically already lives in us. And it takes this sort of managed effort to, keep these other parts of ourselves up and in
Yeah.
the way of meaningful connection. And so when all of that falls away, We just get to flow with who we naturally are, maybe the way that we are at home when we're relaxed and there's no pressure and there's no
Mhm.
expectations we think we have to live up to. And that's a beautiful thing. And yeah, it does require a bit of a journey, a trek to come back to oneself and trust that, yeah, I actually can be my authentic self, and it's not going to scare people away, or it's not going to expose me to a bunch of judgments. And the irony for people is that when I am my natural, effortless self, I actually get to experience more meaningful connections, deeper connections, more intimacy, and closeness with other people, which all of which is fertile soil for meaningfully exploring the possibility of longer relationship with someone.
Yeah. So, Ryle, let's just briefly have you just give a little kind of prep or explanation of like what to expect at a closer event.
Yeah, so it's one of the sort of subtexts is that it is a training. So we're providing attendees with a curated set of skills and tools that we found to be the most effective and the easiest to learn and the easiest to apply, very quickly after learning them, that can completely transform the quality of a conversation or interaction. So we'll be teaching these skills and tools, and then inviting attendees to practice, to take those skills into practice with each other. So we'll partner people up and then facilitate the exercises so that people can feel those skills and tools in their bodies and how that impacts the quality of connection with another person. And then we also have a value for getting people into interactions with multiple other people so we can really get a sense of what it's like to connect with different people, and what these skills make possible in connecting with different people in the space. There is an element of a discomfort initially as we learn to become more vulnerable and reveal ourselves a bit more. But what people find is that actually it takes effort to maintain these guards and walls, and there's something really relieving and sweet about letting them fall away. And when we're all doing it together at the same time, there's a kind of safety in numbers in a sense. And so, yeah, you're walking away both with some really powerful arrows in the quiver that you can apply to connections with other humans everywhere, especially on dates, and meaningful connections with other humans that you can follow up with and explore relationship or connection with.
Awesome. And then from my end, what I'm taking care of is the checklist, which we want people to leave out the door. The people at the event have been curated by myself and my team. We've vetted every person. These are all people, they're either clients of ours or members in our network. Everyone's been vetted, everybody's been background checked, and we curate the groups based on people's dating parameters and also where they're at in life. What are they looking for in terms of long-term relationship? Do they want a family? And so, that you don't have to be at this event evaluating, and you are not being evaluated against this checklist that is left behind and left to us. And really, it allows you to come in and learn this practice, experience this practice with other people that are like-minded in the same life stage as you. So it's pretty, I think it's a pretty amazing concept. If I don't
Yeah,
say so myself.
no, it really is. I think it's super unique where we're combining these, elements of matchmaking and curated connections with a training in really powerful skills and tools to cultivate intimacy with other people. And that's a beautiful combination that I think we each bring respectively to these events. And yeah, they're just getting richer and deeper and more powerful as we continue to offer them. So yeah, super excited to be a part of it and excited to see where they continue to lead us and our participants.
I feel exactly the same way. Every single time we have another event, I just feel like, oh my gosh, this just keeps getting better and better. We get feedback from everybody. And oh, and just so you know, you do not have to worry about getting someone's phone number, connecting with them. We facilitate all the connections after the event. You log into our system. You're going to see every single person you met, male and female. You get to express how open you are, how curious you are to stay in connection with them. We calculate everybody's kind of connection scores. And then everybody who's mutually interested in staying in connection, we facilitate those connections. We will exchange your emails and phone numbers so you can connect with each other afterwards. So you don't have to worry about that at the event. I think that's everything.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Good stuff.
We'll see it closer.
See it closer.
Okay. So I could stop. Okay. I feel like that was pretty decent.